Thank you very much. So I've recently joined Hexatronic. So what I thought I'd do is just introduce myself, because I've had a fairly interesting background here. So my background is in telecommunications engineering, and prior to this I ran a software company for 10 years that specialised in public safety software. But yeah, my background there, as you can see, is in telecommunications engineering and project management. And I spent 15 years in the Defence Force there, and just to prove it, there's a picture there on the right-hand side there when I was a lot slimmer and fitter. But I recently joined, after finishing up in Hexagon, went into semi-retirement, was asked to join Hexatronic earlier this year. And Hexatronic, as was explained in the intro there, is a manufacturer of optical fiber, ducting, microducting, and interconnects. And we're Swedish-owned organisation, part of the Hexatronic group, which is headquartered in Gothenburg, Sweden. And we have a large presence here in New Zealand. We actually have a factory based at Pororoa, a major production plant here. So Hexatronic has been involved in New Zealand for a number of years now. It grew out of Ericsson Cables and was acquired about 4 or 5 years ago by Hexatronic here in New Zealand. And that plant manufactures all of the microducting for the ultra-fast fibre broadband system in New Zealand. So if you at home have a fibre connection to the internet, then you will be using our product already, and that'll be our fibre and ducting. And as I've shown up there on the right hand side there, we've got at the moment indirectly over 1 million, just over 1 million households and businesses that have been connected to the UFB, and that figure there comes from the Crown Fibre Holdings website. So essentially that's what we're geared up to do here in New Zealand, and what we're doing and what I've been brought in to do essentially is expand the business horizontally here and in Australia into what we would call the non-telco market. So these are typically where people have infrastructure builds where they are wanting to install optical fibre, all of the layer 1 technology we supply, and the infrastructure that goes with that. So in the case of defence here, and we've recently joined NZDIA, obviously clearly there our offer is really targeted towards sort of defence base and infrastructure. So optical fibre backbone infrastructure is something we're able to do there. Now because we have a manufacturing plant in New Zealand, we're able to basically provide that product very, very rapidly and very efficiently, and at a very good price point as well. Some of the other stuff we do there, we are involved in, we have a defence practice, so we provide optical fibre interconnects and cables for specialised needs within the defence environment, and we've got some examples there of optical fibre interconnects there that are used for aircraft and field operations. As you can see there, we basically cover a range of applications there, and again, these are very specialised. It's not the sort of things that you would be able to make. You would necessarily have the equipment to make because of the splicing and polishing requirements. So that's something we're able to do there. So again, just to really cover off what we do. In fact, we've got a short video here, which I'll run here, this was done for some applications in the Pacific Islands. And for those of you who are not familiar, it just gives just a very quick overview of how this fibre is deployed in the field using compressed air systems. Eliminates there essentially a lot of the active equipment that you'd normally have in traditional systems. It's some of our, we supply basically all of the implementation equipment. It's the optical fibre you see there being laid. And that's our compressed air blowing gun. So again, just to finish off, that's what we do. And we're really interested really in large infrastructure implementations in New Zealand. So at that point, I'll leave it there, and if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Stephen. That is fascinating. And that photo of you on the first page back in the fatigues, when you were fitter, faster, stronger, as we all were back in the day. Where was that actually taken, if you can tell us?
I was an artillery officer, so that was actually shot in Wairuru. One sunny day, we were live firing. That would have been very early 90s, I think.
Okay.
But it's interesting. I mean, I have a career in engineering and in business of late, and but in joining the NZDIA and being involved here, it's great to have that experience. You know what you're dealing with, and the equipment. So I'm well aware of sort of the challenges you have in the field when you're trying to deploy with equipment, and what the troops need.
And that's exactly the point I'm getting to. That previous experience, in terms of getting the fibre laid and the connections made, having been there, done that as one of the team, you know exactly what they're dealing with on an everyday basis, so that when it comes to working with yourself, it's probably quite smooth running. So that was fascinating. Thank you so much for your time. We'll say ka kite anō, and hope you enjoy the rest of the session.